podcast number 1. What we're going to do in this very first podcast is talk about listening skills and how effective a listener that you think you are or you believe you are. Some of the learning objectives that we're going to cover is how do we define active listening and what are some of the key components involved in that. We'll be talking about identifying various ways to become a better listener if that's what you choose to do. How body language is used to reflect a positive listening attitude. We'll talk about understanding the difference between sympathy and empathy. And have you ever wondered about that? We'll discuss the differences between sympathy and empathy and when each is appropriate to use. We'll be discussing creating a listening mindset using what many of us call framing, putting things in a frame, so to speak, positive intent and focus. How to be genuine in your communications and understanding the communication process and what really that is all about. One other interesting and necessary technique is to learn how to ask questions. How do we probe for information and use paraphrasing techniques that gives feedback to the person that's giving us our information. And lastly, we'll cover identifying common listening problems and solutions. Oftentimes we get into conflict with others when we think we hear one thing and they have said another thing. And so when we're talking about asking questions and probing, that's how we can confirm actually what it is that person is trying to convey to us. So let's get started. Podcast